Hello everyone, welcome again our new episode about PI planning. We are together today with our partner Eren Özdemir and also Ramesh Nori. He's really famous man about SPC and safe world, and we will together with Ramesh Nori, and he will share his experiences about these kind of events like PI planning and another relevant events. And also PI planning is really important event in safe structures and also in some companies. We also have lots of experience together with Eren Özdemir. Again, we want to share these experiences directly you guys in this episode. So let's start together with our guest and also with my partner Eren Özdemir and Ramesh Nuri. We changed our seats today. They are together. Yes, guys, the stage is yours.
Hi, Ridwan.
Hello.
Welcome again.
Ann.
Hi, Eren. Yeah, today is really different uh, for me because generally we are together with Eren, but right now you are together, guys. So yeah, let's start with our discussion point. And Eren, maybe you want to say something to our audience.
Yeah, okay. Also, we change our heads. Always, I was starting the introduction part, but I think it's more funny for me now and more easy. Maybe the next times we can
Yeah,
take this responsibility, and then I can stay
yeah,
relax.
Very
And
good. Yeah, it is indeed a very good feeling to have Kiran sitting next to me because always we were talking across the ocean, they call it, right, using the digital formats. But
yeah.
feels nice, feels nice. Face to face meeting is always the best. Always the best.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, yeah.
so
Fantastic.
let's start with the first topic and first question, Ramesh.
Yeah.
Before to jump in PI planning, always we are talking about the benefits of PI planning or what's PI planning. But let's go a step back and discuss about the synchronization and cadence. I think they are very important, but we need to learn what is synchronization and what is cadence and why are they important for us.
Yeah. So it's a very simple concept, guys. Cadence means doing something in a rhythmic way, like military or police, left, right. In our schools and colleges, every day it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, for example. We have lunch at 12, then we have, game period in the evening, so on and so forth, right? Because as humans, we love the discipline. We love the concept of predictability. When you know that, hey, tomorrow morning 8 o'clock again is going to be the same thing happening. Tomorrow noon is going to be lunch. It's nice. It removes that anxiety from within us when something is planned, but not too much planning. Good enough. That's where cadence helps, right? And synchronization means what is Ridwan doing, what is Iran doing, what is Ramesh doing. Are we talking to each other and understanding what my role is, what everybody's role is in order to get the product together, especially in the way the product is being built, not by one person, right? We have a lot of teams around. So that's where the cadence and synchronization collectively together, put together, is a very, very powerful element that helps with predictability. That's why when you look at SAFE principles, scaled agile principles, because PI planning and all this cadence and synchronization also is a pretty big deal with it. There is actually a principle. One of the SAFE lean agile principles talks about cadence and synchronization. That important it is. For many organizations, if they are having trouble to plan their work, if they're having trouble to figure out when, tentatively, right, approximately when you can actually finish the product or deliverable, I think if you do slicing and dicing and do a root cause analysis, the reason might be positively falling into lack of cadence and synchronization. Means they are doing wild west, we call it in USA. Means everybody is doing whatever they want to do. They are very busy, but nothing is coming out. You see, that's what it is. It's important. It's not just important. I would say it's a critical in terms of value.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, sure. Because they need to gain these abilities, right? Otherwise, they lost something in their busy business days, right?
Yeah.
Ramesh? And also, I have very simple question. Is that easy to set that kind of events in the company, Ramesh? Because we have lots of experiences in that field with together with Eren and our team members. For example, in our latest experiences, we try to run these events in some companies, and uh, first of all, they try to understand the benefits of PI planning. Generally, they got the point, but then it is not so easy to start these events in their fields because they need to take some actions in their side. But it was not easy process for us. But I wanna listen something from your side, Ramesh, about that
That is
point of view.
true. That is true. It is a very easy and very difficult thing to do at the same time. It is very easy if everybody in the organization, at least in that business unit at the train level, they are all bought in, they are very well educated, means trained, they understand, and they are prepared. You see, the problem with executing on PI planning is the preparation part. If the preparation is not done properly, that's when it becomes very difficult, right? Like what to do, how to do, this is crazy. We like PI planning, but we don't have time for that kind of thing comes. I always approach it in a small batch versus large batch mindset. Lean principle, right? Small batches. Yes, PI planning is there. Now, think about it. If there is no PI planning, typically every organization does yearly planning. 1 year. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of work. 1 year is a lot of work. Can we break it down into smaller chunks of every quarter so that there are four kind of medium sized planning meetings instead of a mega yearly planning? First step. This is a thought process you need to explain. From that, quarterly planning means every quarter you are doing, that is what is a PI planning. Can we actually start preparing for it couple of months before? Don't just say, okay, this is end of August, September 15th, I'm doing PI planning. No, 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 no. Can you accommodate that? What are the things that you need to accomplish or prepare to achieve that PI planning, to have a successful session? Do we have right people in the room? Did you talk to all the people? Is everybody bought in? Do you have the product defined? Do we have a kind of a spreadsheet or a backlog, or even the Jiras of the world? You have a little bit of a backlog ready. Is that prioritized? Is that vetted out? Meaning backlog doesn't mean somebody write it on a post-it and throw it out, right? Somebody did they work it? Did they prepare the work to be ready? You have to create that enigma, not what is the right word, maybe not enigma, that curiosity factor. You have to actually explain to people that if they do XYZ, it's going to help them become better when it comes to the product development, and then show them the path. So that is where your road mapping comes into play. In fact, as a part of the SPC credential, once you take the SPC session and gain access to the safe portal, there are toolkits available for PI planning preparation, which talks about approximately 2 to 3 months ahead. You got to do X, Y, Z, so on and so forth. So it's involved. It needs some dedicated heads, like a Ridwan there, and Eden here, or Ramesh, or a combination thereof. Along with local from the client side, we need some coaches that actually start preparing for it. Now they can be SPC certified, they can be RTE certified, release training unit certified, but whatever is needed, focus on educating people, focus on solid preparation, make sure everything is kosher, and agree on the date. When is the date? 2 months down the road, 2.5 months down the road, and get started. That should actually alleviate, means reduce the stress of failed PI planning, because otherwise, I have seen many instances where the client side will come up with many reasons, whether it is, hey, we have an inspection coming on, or hey, I cannot take 2 days off because we are so busy in delivering. I'm like, oh, wow, you know what, these 2 days of PI planning actually is going to reduce your workload by 20 to 30%. It's actually going to bring more clarity. It's actually going to bring more alignment and transparency. So when you talk in those terms and work one-on-one with many people, the decision makers, it becomes easier and fun. Does it help?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
You,
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah, you said to set the PI dates. I think that's very important because without this, in my experience, they are saying, okay, we will start in, for example, beginning of October,
Yeah.
and they are saying, okay, we have another topic in that days, or we need to postpone 1 month,
Yeah.
more month, 1 more month, or we are not ready for the first PI because some of them, the companies are still feeling if we start the first PI, we need to prepare it well. So that means we need to create the whole features with a very clear details, and the all roles and responsibilities needs to be very detailed, clear like that. What's your opinion about that part? Do we need how do we need to prepare it well or?
So lack of planning itself is a symbol of failure. Okay. There is nothing in the universe that is called a perfect plan. The definition of plan is there is variability. You are planning for it. It's not actual, it is planning. So start somewhere, assuming that it won't be 100% perfect, right? Start somewhere, look at it, go through it once or twice, so that now you understand, aha, these are the things that work very well. These are the things that we need to improve upon. That is the essence of the PDCA cycle, right? The plan, do, check, adjust, the Deming cycle. Apply that. Apply that. Do not aim for the perfect day to arrive, guys. It's never going to be like that. It's always, you will, once you get caught up in that little rabbit hole, it's always something or the other will be coming in your way. So instead say, let's start, let's say you mentioned about October. Not first week of October, agree on the date, October 2nd, for example. Let us try for October 2nd. We have about 2 months. Let us try our best, whatever we can do to prepare for it. Yes, we may not be 100% ready. We may not be a perfectly positioned to execute on the PA, but let's learn. From there, let's improve upon. That is it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we also started to discuss about the synchronization, right? So, and also we already shared something about LPM, Lean Portfolio Management. In that webinar session, we also shared lots of important, let's say, experiences about the strategic alignment. But today we are discussing about PI planning to be able to have from strategy to execution synchronization, right? What is your ideas about that point of view again,
So
Ramesh?
yes, it's definitely helps with connecting your strategy to execution on basically at the portfolio level. If we are strategizing the work or strategizing our desires of the organization, right? Like, hey, this is our business strategy, next 1 year, 2 year, 5 years we want to achieve it. That deliverable associated with achieving those goals, they are the ones that trickle down as the solution intents, basically the what the stakeholders are expecting. Let's call it as expectations, right? So bring it. PI planning typically happens at a train level, agile release train level, which is a collection of teams put together, and it is really focused on planning the work towards deliverables or towards execution. Strategy is already predefined by that time. So in essence, PI planning is where the executive team or a part of the strategy group or the portfolio group is going to be present there with the business owners. They're going to present their thought process on what is it to be done, for what is their expectation in terms of the company's direction, what we want to do, what we want to build, wherein the development teams who actually are the ones who are delivering. In an organization, it's only the delivery teams or the development teams are the ones who deliver the work. Nobody else delivers the work. These guys are actually listening from the stakeholders directly and thinking on how to actually plan the deliverables. Let them plan the deliverables, and that is the secret sauce of PI planning. That's why it is critical, because it brings in the alignment on people thinking about strategy, and alignment from delivery teams who are ready to work on it and deliver the work. So that alignment plays a major role, and having the 2 day or 2.5 day, depending on the distributed teams, it helps solve a lot of unknowns and uncertainties which otherwise will get routed through project managers. If you really look at it, right, some stakeholder will say, this is a project, give it to a project management team. They come down and they hand it over to the teams and say, you do XYZ. Teams are like, why are we doing? What are we doing? How to do all this? They'll figure it out. If there is any misalignment, there is no direct line of communication. That's going to be a disaster. That oops moment is what we want to avoid. That is why PI planning plays a major role in organizations, guys. It's a fantastic event. Yeah.
That's good. Also, my question will be the simple question, maybe simplest question. We talked about the PI planning. So can you summarize that? What does it mean, the PI planning? Program increment planning? What does it mean? What's inputs, outputs, or?
So PI in version 6.0 of SAFe is called planning interval. It's a duration in time. See, remember in the beginning I said 1 year long, you break it into 4 pieces, so-called 3 months long. Typically about 10 weeks long is what is recommended by SAFe. I have seen companies doing 8 weeks, which are very quick in return, delivering. I have seen some companies doing 12 weeks, which is 3 months long. That program interval or planning interval, sorry, not program interval, planning interval here is 1 quarter, 12 weeks. And you're planning your work based on those intervals. It's duration of time. That's all it is. Seriously, at the end of the day, PI planning is about how the teams who is about to deliver or work on some kind of a deliverable, they're coming together, because that is the essence, right? That is the fundamental rule we always recommend is whoever is planning on delivering the work should plan their work. It cannot be I plan for Eren on what he should deliver. How do I know? I have to tell, hey, Ridwan and Eren, this is the plan we have. Can we deliver? And let Ridwan and Eren come forward and say, you know what, based on our pluses and minuses, our strengths and weaknesses, we can deliver it in 4 months, 6 months, like that.
That's cool. I have 2 quick questions, Ridwan, also before you. The first one, I got these questions from the same client. If we plan quarterly, do we need to plan our iteration? Because we are planning quarterly, do we need to plan the iteration based also 2 weeks?
Yes, as a part of the 2 days or 2.5 days of the PI planning event, you plan your iterations, which are also called sprints in our local language, which is a 2 weeks. For example, you have 12 weeks of PI planning. You do 12 weeks, which is 6 sprints. Out of 6, 1 you need to remove for IP, which is your last sprint, non-development sprint. So you plan for 5 active development sprints of 2 weeks each. And that too, my recommendation is you don't need to plan each and every story for all sprints. Plan 90% of first sprint, 80% of second sprint, then 70% each for the third, fourth, fifth sprint. That way, what happens is that 10% of buffer is very important. That's a lean principle. You cannot load up 100% and then say, oops, we cannot deliver, right? You have 10% of space available in case if any unknown, because everything plan again means it's a wild guess. You're asking team to say, in 2 weeks, how much work can you do? They're like, I'm going to do 10 stories. How do you know 10? It might be 12. It might be only 8. It might be only 6 if the stories are difficult. So plan it that way. Give a little bit of buffer. Okay, I don't want to use the buffer, but it's space, wiggle room, adjustment room for the teams to come and fix their plans, so that when it becomes actual, it's easy. So 90% of first sprint, 80% of second sprint, 70. That's a good way to plan your sprint cycles or iterations in the.
That's cool. Second question, when you explain this, my question is this waterfall? Because I think iteration or sprint is enough for us. We are following the 2-week sprint. We don't predict the future. So I think PI is waterfall. I face this question. What do you think about
it? It is not waterfall, because in waterfall, you are doing design for 1 quarter, development for 1 quarter, testing for 1 quarter, and then delivery for 1 quarter. That is the waterfall, like steps. Water is falling from one step to the other step. In sprints or in agile way of working, within that 3 months, you are planning on delivering a specific quantity of product, A to Z. It's a working product you're going to deliver end of the 3 months. We call them features at the PI level, at the train level. It's not just a design that's coming out in 3 months. It's a smaller quantity of product which is already design done, development done, testing done, and ready to get the feedback from the end users. That is a thought process. Okay, so that whole PDCA cycle happens. From outward, onset, it looks like, oh, it's a glorified waterfall. It's not. You can actually, after the end of PI, even though the product is not 100% completely done, let's say it has 100 features, you can still deliver 20, 30 features to the actual consumer so that you can gather them. They might actually use it. Or you know what, sometimes it so happened that the customer is happy with those 20, 30 features. You don't even need all the 100 features because it's gold plating. That's the way you need to plan. It helps with uncertainty. It helps with faster feedback gathered on the product being built.
I got my answers. It's your turn, Rıdvan, I think.
Yeah, those questions are really tough questions, right, Ramesh?
Yes.
So also, we have lots of audience. Maybe they heard these terms the first time for them. So we know that we need to have some preparation before PI planning, and also we need to do some things during this PI planning, and then we have some further issues after PI planning period, right? Maybe we need to deep dive the PI planning session particularly. So how can conduct this kind of process during PI planning? Our audience need to focus some things that are really valuable, right?
Yeah.
So in your perspective, because you had lots of PI planning sessions in your experiences, so what is your valuable things during these PI planning session?
So during PI planning session, one of the most important things to focus on is to make sure the teams are not stuck with one sprint planning. I have seen it again and again. The teams are so focused that they want to nail the stories to the T. Don't. 80-90% of the first sprint, if you are clear enough, good. Second one, at a high level, if you figure out the stories, good enough. Don't get caught up into, like we say, don't go too deep, but go wider. You have to fill up the whole PI, whole 3 months or 12 weeks of work, 10 weeks of work. Don't go too deep into one sprint and get caught up. That's one thing. First. Second thing, make sure the teams are getting all the support they need, whether it is architects, whether it is UI, UX team, network managers, compliance engineers. They all should attend the PI planning because they should consider it as a spiritual ceremony in a way. I'm exaggerating, but that much respect they have to give to the event. Think of it when we go to temple, mosque or something. How do we behave? With respect, right? Oh, we have to go, we have to do XYZ. Same thing. Take the PI planning event itself seriously, prepare for it and participate. That's second thing, right? Going on. Third thing is you have to coach your scrum masters because every team or couple of teams has one scrum master, right? They are attending the PI planning. Coach them so that they are in the process with eyes wide open. They are always helping the teams in understanding, are the teams shy, do they have a question, do they have any impediments, let me quickly figure, because we have all the actual stakeholders in the room, whether it is business executives, whether it is product people, architects, engineers, database guys, we have all the people in the room. Scrum masters can be the great facilitators to help the teams. Now, last one, which I love the most is make sure you do a mock PI planning session. I know that sounds weird, right? But why not?
Yeah.
If you can find, let's say, 1 hour, maybe 1.5 hours, that's what we do in our SPC implementation safe class, right? We do a mock PI planning session. just so that the team members understand what is involved as far as the processes are concerned. That way, there is no unknown like, okay, I am in the breakout room. What should I do next? If I have a question, whom should I ask? What are the roles? These kind of things take it away. It's part of the preparation for PI plan. Do a mock PI planning. Last but not the least, one more is make sure you use good tooling, guys. Yes, post-its are great if you have all the 125 people in one room. But still, it happened to me. One post-it, it fell down. Nobody saw it. See, it's a 2-day event. First day in the evening, the post-it fell down. The cleaning crew came and whatever is on the ground, they cleaned it. Next day, everybody did done. And then towards the end of the day too, we are like, where is that feature gone? Where is that story gone? So best thing is invest in a good tool, whether it is a Jira tool, even people use Microsoft Excel, or you can use Google Docs, doesn't matter. Whatever ALM tool is there, invest in the tool. That way it becomes easier for you. So all these things are part of the trade secrets that you want to implement for a successful PI plan.
That's good. Also, my question is also one asked during the PI period, and we discuss about the preparation part and during PI planning. Maybe the next question is about after PI planning. Okay, we completed the PI planning and all teams go to their board and they will work individually. Do they need to work together in separately, or do they need to work together, or separately they can handle the whole into the PI?
It's always critical to make sure teams are working in a collective sense. That doesn't mean I'm saying everybody should sit in a big room throughout the 3 months. No. Each team has their own little team room, little area where they want to work, but they should have that communication loop open. Let's say my team has a dependency on Ridwan's team. That Scrum Master should be able to facilitate that, and if needed, the tech lead or whoever is the SME from the team should be able to communicate saying, hey, I'm working on this, you're working on that, your code is going to influence me, or my product is going to influence you. Let us build it together, let us integrate it together, test it together. That mindset should be there. That open mindset is critical. Otherwise, we are going back to the same model, right? It works in my laptop, there you go, and I throw it out of the window. Not my problem anymore. So again, as we should start working as a team and then as a team of teams, that will solve that issue. That's part of your synchronization also. In a way, synchronization doesn't mean only a meeting, right? Synchronization means you need to sync at the hardware level, software level, firmware level, whatever the level it is. Even the requirements need to be in sync, even the deliverables need to be in sync, and even the demo need to be in sync, product demos. So these all will help you to have a successful execution of the PI.
Yes, Ramesh. I know that lots of CXO members also are watching these episodes. So maybe they want to understand what is their role in that event. That we also touching with these CXO members daily basis. So what is their role?
So define CXO. Are you talking about customer experience people or CEO, CFO, CIO kind of people?
Generally, CEO, CFO, CEO.
So two ways to look at it, right? Or maybe from two lenses, let us look at it. One thing is, first question, the CXO personnel, who is the top chief of the organization, right? C-suite. Do they play an active role in the product delivery? First question, primordial question. If they are playing active role, then there is very good reason for them to attend the PI planning, because they are the SMEs in a way. I know a CTO who is actually the enterprise architect for the organization. So he wants to make sure that architecturally every product is sound. So he would remove the CTO hat and put the enterprise architect hat and attend the PI planning. That's one. Okay. Now, if in many larger organizations you have the product team, you have the architect team, etc. So CXOs may not be actively participating at the execution level, but they are very active at the strategy level. In that case, invite them so that they can present the business strategy. Because remember, in the PI planning, one of the first sessions is about the business stakeholders presentation, how the business is doing, what are the various things that are going to come in near future, etc. Let them come, share the insight, and also let them participate to see how the teams are planning on delivering the work. Are there any impediments they have, what they can deliver, what they cannot deliver. Always it helps with alignment. So I would strongly recommend they should attend. If they're active, great. If they're not so active, still be present in the room so that they know what is happening on the forefront. I would recommend that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. Maybe for today we can keep it short also.
Yeah, sure.
For this session, because there were lots of valuable things. But maybe, do you have any question, Rıdvan, before to jump?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay. But my question will be the last question, so I will ask to take place. But if you have more question, you can.
Yeah, actually, maybe we need to say that how they start to how they start PI planning in their companies, because lots of maybe transformation leaders also watching these episodes, so they want to start PI planning in their companies, but maybe they don't know how to start. So what is your suggestions
We are
about that?
here, Rıdvan.
Again, that point
You
of
can
view,
say that we
Ramesh.
are here to support them.
So hire us.
Sure.
Hire us, right, Ridwan?
For sure. But
No,
yes, we are here.
all fun aside,
Yeah.
I would always recommend,
Yeah.
I mean, I think we are giving the trade secrets away. I always recommend to start with one product line. Identify one product line within a business unit, right? And for that product line, now start preparing the backlog and work with roles. Who is going to support what? Do we have product team? Do we have architects? Then at the team level, do we have scrum masters, product owners? Do we have the delivery team in itself? How many teams we have? Do we have at least 4 or 5 teams to form a small train? Or all of them working towards that product, not like 5 different products, 5 teams. Now that's nothing but waterfall that in the auspices of Agile, right? So you want to have that preparation done and then start with a date, knowing that it won't be 100% accurate. We just talked about it briefly, right? Start with the date saying, okay, we have a backlog ready. Let us try to plan for it and try to see how they can be, that product can be delivered on a quarterly basis. Start. It's okay. Don't feel shy.
Yeah.
It's not a failure thing. You have to start experimenting. How do you pedal a bicycle as a kid, right? You start, you fall down, you get up, you figure out, if I lean to the right, I'm falling down. Next time you lean to the left, you'll fall down to the left. Then you figure out left, right, like that.
Yeah.
Same concept. Start practicing, like start somewhere. Don't wait for the perfect day, perfect moment. Yeah, it do exist if you hire us, but normally don't wait for that to happen. Yeah.
If you don't have any budget, right? Yeah.
So I would
Yes, Eren.
Also, my question was what are the key takeaways? Maybe 3 of them. You, I think, mentioned some of them, but maybe if you summarize the whole this session, what are the 3 key takeaways?
I would say don't feel shy about PI planning. Get educated on it. Educated means understand what is involved. We'll be able to help you. Very easy, not hard. Then plan for it. You have to prepare for it. Okay, it's not something you can just jump in. All right, and then do it. It's okay. Invest in your learning cycle, the PDCA cycle, and do it, guys. It's amazing. It helps in numerous ways that I cannot fathom enough. I'm telling you, one of the very, how should I say, most beneficial event that Scaled Agile gave to the community is the PI planning event. They have extensive information on their website. You can reach to any one of us. We'll be more than happy to do a mock-up. Let's say you want to experience it. We can schedule a half a day time with you and walk you through. And just play with it. What is involved in a PI, and then we'll take it from there. Yeah, those are the primary things I would recommend that we should get started.
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, I want to share my take from this discussion as well. So it shouldn't be 100% accurate, right, Ramesh? That's a really important message, because PI planning itself should be iterative. Because in our experiences, generally, we understand that lots of companies learning PI planning quarterly basis, because each time they conduct these process, these events, they are getting mature, right? So they are learning lots of things from previous one, and also they are setting some new way of working for the next PI planning. That's really important, to have these learning curve during these PI planning sessions.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, Ridwan. I think you need to close the session because you started.
Yes. Actually, we have lots of valuable comments and also experience sharing from your side, Ramesh, as always, because you are sharing lots of important experiences from your side, and also we are trying to express our experiences as well, because we know that almost each companies and also each teams are trying to find their way according to their needs, right? Because of that, that was really important episode in my point of view. We shared lots of important information directly to our audience, not only theoretical part, but also we shared lots of real cases, real experiences that was really valuable. Again, nice to host you in that episode, Ramesh. That was really a different story in my point of view again, because generally we are together with Eren, but right now we changed the seats. That was a great experience for me.
Maybe next time you will come to here again.
Thank
we
you.
Will be, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. So thank you for you, Ramesh. And also, Eren, thank you for your suggestions, your questions. That was really valuable for me. And also, I know that for our audience as well. Thank you to all our audience. Again, they followed us, and also we were together with all our audience, and we will have lots of new episodes. Again, the scaled agile experiences and also frameworks.
Thank you, Ridwan.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
everyone.
See ya.
Bye bye.